The small shuttle crashed into the soft soil of an alien meadow, smoke rising into the blue-green sky. Cole climbed out of the wreckage, coughing and limping, his leg bruised but not broken. His journey had been meant for a nearby colony world. But a navigation glitch sent him here, an unknown planet peaceful and strangely quiet. The air was warm, filled with the scent of strange flowers. Trees curved in spiral shapes and the birds had glowing feathers. Cole checked his gear. Most of it was broken, but his emergency beacon was still working. He only needed to wait a few days before help arrived. Then he heard a voice. "Are you hurt, human?" It was soft, careful, and spoken in nearly perfect English. Cole turned and saw a girl standing by the trees. She looked young, maybe 11 or 12 by human guess. Her skin was pale blue with a soft purple hue. Small elf-like ears pointed from beneath her dark, wavy hair. Her eyes were big and shimmering like tiny oceans. "I'm all right," Cole said. "Just stranded." She nodded and stepped forward. "You can stay in our village until someone comes for you. We don't get many visitors. My name is Irie." Cole followed her through the trees to a village made of smooth stone homes built around a clear stream. Everything looked clean and calm, like the people here lived without hurry. Villagers watched him with curious eyes but said nothing. Irie brought him to a small house near the edge of the village. "You can rest here," she said. "It used to be my father's place, before he died." Cole noticed her face turned sad for a second. That evening, Irie brought him some food, strange vegetables and a warm drink. She sat with him quiet at first, but after a while she spoke again. "Human," she began slowly. "My mother cries at night, every night, since my father died in the war." Cole's heart sank. "I'm sorry. She's strong, everyone says so, but she's lonely," Irie whispered. "She won't say it, but I know. And I thought maybe you could be her husband." Cole almost dropped his cup. "What?" "I don't mean now," she said quickly. "Just maybe you could make her smile again. She needs someone kind. She doesn't laugh anymore." He stared at her, unsure what to say. "I'm sorry," she said, standing up. "Maybe it was wrong to ask. I just wanted her to stop crying." Then she walked away into the dark. Cole sat in silence, listening to the soft wind and distant water. He had just come here by accident. He didn't expect anything like this. But something about Irie's voice, her worry, her courage, it stayed in his heart. The stars above were different from Earth's sky. Still, one thing felt the same. Even across galaxies, pain and love were the same. Grief, too. He looked toward the house Irie had entered and sighed. "Maybe I should meet her mother," he whispered to himself. And with that thought, the real story began. The next morning, Cole stepped out of the guest house into the quiet village. The sun here was soft and golden, casting long shadows over the curved stone paths. A few villagers nodded politely as he passed, but most simply watched from a distance. He could feel their curiosity. Humans were rare here. He didn't see Irie at first, but a child ran by and pointed toward the far side of the village. "She's with her mother," the child said before disappearing again. Cole followed the stone path until he reached a house shaped like a smooth dome, surrounded by violet flowers. He hesitated, then gently knocked on the curved door. A moment later, the door opened. There she was. The woman before him had the same soft blue-purple skin as Irie, but her presence was different, calm, graceful, and quiet. Her hair was tied back in a simple braid, and her eyes looked tired but warm. For a moment, she just looked at him. "You must be the human my daughter spoke about," she said softly. "Yes," Cole replied. "Irie brought me here after my crash. I hope it's okay. I came to see you." She nodded and stepped aside. "Come in." The inside of the house was peaceful, filled with soft light and clean spaces. A few pictures hung on the walls. One showed a tall alien male with kind eyes standing beside the woman and a much younger Irie. Cole understood without asking. That must have been her husband. They sat across from each other at a low table. She poured him a cup of warm green tea. My name is Seelan, she said. Eerie speaks of you already. She has a strong heart, but she is still a child. Her ideas can be surprising. Cole gave a small smile. She told me about her father. I'm sorry for your loss. Seelan lowered her eyes. Thank you. He was a good man. There was a short silence. Cole could hear a soft wind outside and the hum of insects in the garden. I think Eerie only wants to see you smile again, Cole said gently. She said you've been very sad. Seelan looked at him. Her eyes held pain but also kindness. I do cry at night, she said quietly. I miss him. Every day. But I try not to let Eerie see. She sees, Cole said. She's brave, like you. Seelan gave a small, sad smile. She is. More than I ever expected. They spoke for a while longer. Cole didn't ask anything more personal. He listened to Seelan shared small things, how the seasons worked on this planet, the way their people celebrated spring, the food they grew. Her voice grew lighter as she spoke. Eerie returned after some time, surprised to see them laughing. She quietly sat beside her mother, watching them with hopeful eyes. When Cole stood to leave, Seelan walked him to the door. Thank you for coming, she said. I didn't know what to expect, he replied, but I'm glad I came. She looked at him and nodded. Me too. As he walked back through the village, Cole realized something. He didn't feel like a stranger anymore. Not completely. The villagers still watched him, but now, their eyes were softer. And behind him, inside the little house, a mother and daughter finally sat together without tears. In the days that followed, Cole found himself visiting Seelan and Eerie more often. He helped fix small things around their home, like the broken water pipe near the garden and the shaky roof panel that creaked during windy nights. He didn't mind. It gave him something to do while waiting for rescue, and more than that, it felt right. Seelan would offer tea, and sometimes they would sit quietly and just enjoy the soft light of the alien sun. Eerie would run around collecting fruit or drawing pictures of her new little family, as she once joked. Cole didn't know what to make of that at first. One afternoon, while fixing a cracked bench outside their home, Seelan brought him a cool drink and sat beside him. The air was warm, filled with the sweet smell of flowers. You're kind, Cole, she said. Most visitors keep to themselves, but you help, you listen. Cole smiled. Maybe I like it here more than I expected. She gave a small laugh. Careful, you're starting to sound like one of us. They sat in silence for a moment. A gentle breeze passed through the garden and colorful petals danced in the air. Cole turned his head and watched Seelan's face. There was a soft peace there now, not the heavy sadness he'd seen the first time. You're smiling more now, he said. She glanced at him, surprised. Am I? Yes. Eerie noticed it too. Seelan's expression softened. She's been happier lately. She talks about you often. She even told me yesterday that she hopes you never leave. Cole looked down. Well, I hope rescue comes soon, but I won't forget this place, or either of you. Before Seelan could reply, Eerie came skipping around the corner with a basket of fruit. She saw them sitting close and grinned wide. I knew it, she said loudly. Knew? What? Seelan asked, raising an eyebrow. That he makes you happy. Eerie giggled and placed the basket down. Seelan blushed slightly and turned her gaze away. Cole scratched the back of his neck, unsure how to respond. Eerie, Seelan said gently, you shouldn't say such things. But it's true, the girl said with a playful shrug. You never laugh when he's not here. Seelan looked at Cole, a quiet thought behind her eyes. Children speak their hearts, don't they? Cole gave a quiet nod. Sometimes that's a good thing. As the sun began to set, casting orange light over the village, Cole helped gather firewood with Eerie. The villagers nearby watched them again, but this time, they smiled. A few even waved. One elder came by and handed Cole a small gift, dried herbs for tea. You bring peace to her house, the elder said simply, then walked away. Cole looked back at Seelan, who was gently arranging the fruit Erie brought. The house looked more alive than it had days ago. The sadness was still there, but softer now, covered by laughter, care, and the presence of someone new. And though he had come to this world by accident, Cole started to wonder if the accident was meant to happen. Not everything broken needed to be thrown away. Sometimes things could be mended, not just homes and benches, but hearts too. And here, among these quiet people and two special lives, his own heart had begun to feel lighter. One quiet evening, Cole was helping Seelan plant seeds in the garden behind her house. The stars were just starting to appear in the sky, and Irie was chasing a glowing bug near the fence. Laughter filled the air, but something about Seelan's eyes seemed distant, like a heavy thought was resting in her heart. After some silence, Seelan spoke. "There's something I need to tell you, Cole. Something important." Cole paused and looked at her. "What is it?" She placed the last seed gently into the soil and sat back. In our culture, a widow is not allowed to stay alone forever. After a full cycle passes, one of our years, she must either bond again or leave the community. Cole blinked, surprised. Leave? What happens if she doesn't want to marry anyone? She is taken to a quiet home far away from the village. They say it's a place of peace and rest, but everyone knows it's a lonely place. No visitors, no family. It's where people are forgotten. Cole's heart sank. "And your time, is it almost over?" She nodded slowly. "In just a few weeks." He didn't know what to say. He thought of Irie, always smiling, always hopeful. She had already lost her father. Now she might lose her mother too, just because of a tradition? "But that's not fair," he said quietly. Seelan looked at him with a calm face. "It is our way. Even if it hurts, we follow it." "Is that why Irie asked me to be your husband?" he asked, the memory of the girl's plea returning to his mind. Seelan gave a small, sad smile. "She knows more than she says. She's afraid of being alone." Cole stood up and began to pace slowly. "Can't you refuse the tradition?" "No. Only a formal bond can stop it," she said. "It doesn't have to be love. Even a respectful agreement is enough to protect the family." He turned to her. "Then let me help." Seelan's eyes widened. "Cole, you don't have to—" "I know," he interrupted gently. "But I can't just watch this happen. Irie needs you, and you don't deserve to be sent away." She was quiet for a moment, then nodded. "The council will want proof. We'll have to show that our bond is real, even if it's only by agreement." Cole nodded back. "Then we'll show them." Later that night, Irie overheard them talking. She ran up and hugged Cole tightly. "Thank you," she whispered. "I knew you would help." Cole placed a hand on her head. "I'm not going anywhere." But as he lay down to sleep later, alone in his guest room, the weight of what he had promised grew heavy. He wasn't just helping anymore. He was becoming part of their lives, more than he expected. Was he ready for that? He didn't know the answer yet, but one thing was clear. He couldn't turn his back now, not on Irie, not on Celine, not on the quiet love growing like seeds in their small garden. The next morning, the village council sent a message. A formal meeting was arranged to discuss the bond between Cole and Seelan. It would happen in 3 days. Until then, they were to live together as a couple to show their union was real. Cole moved into Seelan's home that same day. Irie clapped her hands in joy, running around the house. "Now it feels like a real family," she shouted. Cole smiled, but deep down he was nervous. Seelan gave him a small room near hers, and though nothing changed between them physically, everything felt different now. Every glance, every word, they all carried a new weight. That evening, they sat together in the main room. Seelan poured tea while Irie showed Cole one of her drawings. It was of the 3 of them standing under a big tree, smiling. "You're very good at this," Cole said. Irie grinned. That's our tree now. You'll see it when spring comes. It blooms with silver petals. Seelan looked at Cole from across the table. She's right, it's a special place. For a moment they sat quietly, and something warm passed between them. Not forced, not fake, just real. Over the next 2 days they cooked meals together, cleaned the garden, and even joined the village in a gathering. When people saw them walking side by side, holding baskets or talking with smiles, they nodded in approval. The village elder, the same one, who had given Cole herbs, even whispered to him, "You bring light to her home again." But one night, as stars filled the sky, Cole sat alone outside the house, staring at the moon. Seelan walked out quietly and stood beside him. "Are you okay?" she asked. He nodded slowly. "Just thinking." She sat down next to him. "About the council?" "Yes," he replied, "but also about this, us." Seelan looked down. "I understand. You came here by accident and now you're caught in something big." "It doesn't feel like an accident anymore," Cole said, his voice low. "I came here with no plan. I was alone. Now I feel like I belong somewhere." Seelan turned her eyes toward him. "You've brought peace to our home," my daughter laughs again, and I smile without pretending. Cole looked at her. "So do I." There was silence, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was peaceful, full of meaning. She placed her hand gently on his. "Whatever happens at the council, thank you, Cole." He nodded. "I'm not doing this just for the council anymore." The final day came. The village square was quiet, filled with watching eyes. Cole and Seelan stood before the council. The elder asked simple questions: how long they'd lived together, how they cared for each other if their bond was true. Cole looked at Seelan, then answered clearly. "We live together. We support each other. And yes, our bond is real." Seelan nodded too. "I choose to stay with him." The council watched them both. Then finally the elder stood. "Then it is done. She will stay. The bond is accepted." Applause filled the square. Irie ran up and hugged them both. Tears filled her eyes, but they were happy tears. Cole looked at Celine. She looked back with something deeper in her eyes now, not just relief but quiet affection. This had started as a promise. Now it felt like something more, something real. Peace returned to the village after the council accepted Seelan and Cole's bond. The people smiled at them more. Irie walked proudly, holding both their hands, calling them her family. But not everyone was happy about the decision. There was one person who watched them from the shadows, a tall alien male named Rakar. Rakar had once hoped to marry Seelan after her husband passed. He had status, strength, and respect in the village. But Seelan had refused him, and now a human had taken the place he wanted. He did not hide his anger. One evening, as Cole walked through the market gathering fruits for Seelan, Rakar stepped in front of him. "You don't belong here, human," he said coldly. Cole stayed calm. "I'm just getting food. You took what was not yours. You made a bond with her, but did you earn it?" Cole stood straight. "She chose me. I didn't force anything." Rakar narrowed his eyes. "Then prove it." Later that day, the village council called another meeting. Rakar had made an official challenge under old village law. It was not a fight. It was a test of loyalty, a rare tradition, but still legal. To protect his bond, Cole had to pass. The trial was simple in words, but hard in truth. Cole had to walk the path of trust, a forest trail filled with symbolic tasks that tested a person's heart, patience, and courage. Many had failed it in the past. Seelan was worried. "You don't have to do this. You've already done more than enough." Cole shook his head. "If this proves my place beside you, then I'll walk the path." Irie held his hand tightly. "Please, come back, please." He smiled. "I promise I will." The next morning the trial began. Cole entered the forest alone. The villagers stood at the edge watching. Ceylin didn't speak, but her eyes followed every step he took, her hands clasped tightly in front of her. Inside the forest, the path curved between tall trees and strange glowing stones. Voices whispered, recordings from long ago meant to distract. Illusions appeared, showing fears and doubts. At one point, Cole saw an image of Ceylin walking away with Rakar. He closed his eyes. No, that's not real. He pressed on. In one area, a bridge made of thin stone stretched over a deep ravine. It looked unstable. He took a deep breath and walked slowly, carefully. A stone cracked under his foot, but he didn't panic. He stayed calm and crossed safely. Another trial tested his kindness. A small wounded creature lay on the path, and a sign read, "Leave it and win faster. Help it and earn respect." Cole picked the creature up and carried it until he found a safe spot to rest it. After hours of walking, thinking, and facing his fears, he finally reached the end of the path. The elder stood waiting with 2 guards. "You finished," the elder said, "and you chose honor." Back at the village, people waited. When Cole walked out of the trees, Eerie ran to him first, hugging him tightly. Ceylin followed, her eyes filled with tears. "You did it," she whispered. Cole looked at her and smiled. "I told you I would come back." That night, the village celebrated, not just the bond, but the courage of a human who proved his place not with power, but with heart. And, "Ceylin?" She stood beside him, holding his hand like she never wanted to let go again. The next morning, the village was full of soft voices and smiling faces. Cole had become more than a visitor. He was now one of them. The elder gave a short speech in the center of the village. Some come to our world by chance, but some stay because their hearts find a place here. Everyone knew he was talking about Cole. Ceylin stood beside Cole, dressed in a simple long robe of her people. Irie held both their hands, proud and excited. For the first time in many seasons, the family's house no longer felt quiet or sad. Laughter filled the rooms again. Peace had returned, not just to their home, but to their hearts. After the ceremony, villagers brought gifts, handmade tools, food, and small carved figures. Even those who were unsure of Cole at first now nodded with respect. Rakar did not attend the celebration. No one asked about him. The trial had ended everything. Later that day, Cole and Ceylin sat in the garden while Irie played with 2 village children nearby. The sun was warm, and the sky glowed with soft orange light. "You did something very brave," Ceylin said softly. Cole looked at her. "I only did what felt right." "I was afraid," she admitted. "When you first came here, I thought you would leave like the others before, but you stayed. You listened. You cared." Cole gently took her hand. "You gave me a reason to stay." Ceylin turned to him. Her eyes no longer looked tired. They held something else now. Trust. And something deeper. "I want to believe this is real," she said. "It is," he replied. "I didn't just stay for Irie, I stayed for you." She smiled slowly, and for the first time Cole saw her truly happy. Not just smiling because others needed her to, but smiling because her heart was full. That evening they visited the silver tree Eerie had once drawn. It stood at the edge of the village, tall and beautiful. Its petals glowed softly in the evening, light. Irie danced around it, singing a song from her father's people. Cole and Ceylin sat beneath it, watching her. "She's strong," Cole said. "Like you." Ceylin nodded. "She's our future, and now she has hope again." Cole looked up at the stars slowly appearing in the sky. He remembered how lost he felt when he first crashed here, how alone. But now the stars didn't look cold anymore. They looked peaceful. "I never thought I'd find a home on a different world," he said. "Sometimes," Ceylin whispered, "home finds you." They stayed under the tree until Irie fell asleep in Ceylin's arms. Cole carried her back to the house, and Ceylin walked close beside him. Inside, they tucked Irie into bed. The girl smiled in her sleep, safe and happy. Ceylin stood beside Cole, at the doorway. "Would you stay here tonight?" He nodded. "Yes, I'd like that. No promises were spoken. No big words were needed. Just understanding, respect, and something quietly growing between them. The human who once crashed by accident now walked with purpose. The alien woman who once cried alone now held someone's hand without fear. And the little girl who once begged a stranger for help now had her family whole again. Not by tradition, not by rules, but by love.